A decent number of you were interested in this snake charger video I did a few days ago, and a lot of comments were just addressing, Drew, this is too complicated, this is pointless because wireless charging, that's what's coming to electric vehicles in time. And I realize I haven't really talked about wireless charging on cars, and I'm not talking about the Qi charger pad that's in the vehicle itself, okay? You can make your jokes. Model Y already supports wireless charging, I drop my phone in it all the time. No, we're talking about charging the vehicle itself, and yes, there are prototypes of this technology that allows the car to drive into a parking spot, and there would be a wireless charging coil underneath the parking spot, or a very, very thin layer that the car can go on top of and you don't have to worry about it, similar to how we have wireless charging on our phones currently. So you can place most phones on Qi dedicated chargers and boom, they start charging. And while the Qi charger itself does require a wire, you don't have to interact with that wire in order for the phone to charge. So it's simple, it's more convenient, it's pretty much the only way I charge my phone these days. Why not bring that to cars, right? Well, I think there's just as much complexity, and I saw a lot of people saying that this isn't going to work, but wireless charging will, though I think it does have its own subset of problems, and this one has its own set of pros. So I'm kind of weighing both of them today, and honestly, I'm no engineering expert, you guys should know that by now, but in my opinion, this method would probably be simpler to implement. Now let me explain. Main reason being, wireless charging requires hardware on both ends, and it's not that simple. It's not just a small little third-party accessory you can slap to the bottom of a vehicle and suddenly your car can charge itself as long as it's over a wireless charging pad. This is something that first parties would have to start installing and implementing into their vehicles, which none are doing right now. See, if Tesla unveiled the snake charger tomorrow and said, hey, $5,000, you set this thing up in your garage and it will automatically plug itself in, that is now capable of charging every single one of the Teslas on the road. And there's like over 1 million of them, and they would not have to change any of the manufacturing for the Model S, X3, Y, Roadster, Cybertruck. This would be compatible with all of that stuff. And it would also work on other electric vehicles as well, as long as you had an adapter attached to this thing, or Tesla let you select different versions of the snake chargers so that you could put other outlets for different vehicles. Not saying Tesla would let you charge other people's vehicles. I'm just saying if any company wanted to make an auto plug-in cable, they could allow that feature to be accessible to everybody who's already charging their car. Same with Tesla superchargers. You would have to install that snake, but once those snakes were installed, every single vehicle could now just back in and start charging there. If we went forward with your guys' wireless charging idea, which the science of how it all works and the convenience factor I completely understand is really cool. In fact, there's a video done by Matt from Undecided you should check out on his channel where he talked to a startup that's working on wireless charging for vehicles. It's very ambitious and it's all very interesting. However, the infrastructure for it is not even close to being ready, because not only would you have to install new charging technology at things like superchargers, but wireless charging technology would not even work at superchargers. So there is a lot of hardware limitations of this technology that prevents the vehicle from being charged as fast as you can get with a traditional cable like you can at a supercharger, which currently supports up to 250 kilowatts per hour. That means you can get like 150 miles of charge in under 15 minutes, and those extremely fast charge rates would still be possible with the snake charger. With those wireless charge pads, this would be something that would probably work better for homes, because that's somewhere where your car is going to be parked for a prolonged period of time. Probably when you're done for the day, you bring it home in the garage and you're going to be, inside eating dinner, then sleeping before you start driving the car again. That gives it plenty of time to recharge the battery. So we have a completely different speed of charge if we end up going with the wireless charging option. And there have been prototypes or, ideas of having dedicated lanes on roads that would have tons of charging coils within them, so that when the electric car moved into that lane, it would start charging, but it would basically cost billions of dollars to do that just for like a single mile. So I'm not really expecting any country to start rolling that out unless there's some miraculous invention that is able to make them deliver power to an entire roadway, or let there be wireless charging coils within our roads at all times over great stretches of distances. In a closed box scenario, sure, it is technically possible, but not very practical or very financially doable for many countries or any roads that are currently in place today. And like I said, it would also require hardware on the vehicle's end as well. So maybe there's a chance these startups or these third parties that are investing into wireless charging vehicles would have some type of modification where they can apply these coils to the bottom of your car and have that tap into the battery in some way. But either way, most people aren't going to do that. And again, since the wireless charging stuff is so slow compared to plugging in typically, and it's the same thing with a phone these days, you can charge your phone a whole lot faster via a wire than you can with wireless. The snake coil would actually make a whole lot more sense because you could install them at Tesla superchargers and still gain those fast charging speeds. And kind of the whole point of having this auto plug-in method that I think a lot of people would appreciate is if Tesla truly rolls out with robo-taxis someday and there's cars with no steering wheels and they're able to drive people around and they're able to drive themselves, picking people up, dropping them off, and people are actually going to start buying robo-taxis as a form of passive income, which if you watch Tesla's Autonomy Day, you know that's exactly what they think people are going to do once robo-taxis are a thing. People are just going to buy up whole fleets of them. The ability for them to automatically charge themselves, or at least stop at superchargers and not require anyone to plug them in, that would mean a massive difference in revenue, because if they don't have these snake chargers or they don't have a way for the car to automatically charge itself, it means that someone has to be maintaining these things. When the robo-taxi gets low on charge, it has to come back to a garage and you got to go out there yourself and, plug in every single robo-taxi you have. So it requires a bit more maintenance, whereas if they start rolling out something like this, they technically would require almost no supervision. If you're one of the passive income nuts that wants to buy up a bunch of these robo-taxis and have them charge themselves, you don't even have to come back to the garage and make sure they charge at the end of every day. They can go drive people around, make you money, come back to your garage, charge up without any intervention, and then go back out and keep doing what they're doing. So not requiring anyone to plug them in makes robo-taxis way more practical. And if they're driving people around a lot and really ranking up the miles day after day after day, the wireless charging stuff is not going to be a quick and speedy way of getting range back. That's a better overnight method that again would have to be installed on every single vehicle, which no electric cars support it right now. So could it happen in the way off distant future? Yeah, maybe they'll find ways to make wireless charging faster, and maybe they'll find ways to install it very, very affordably, and they'll build it into every vehicle that is produced, but that's not happening anytime soon. I also wonder if wireless charging is still going to work on vehicles with very, very high ride heights like the Cybertruck. If you turn up adaptive air suspension all the way on that thing, I'm not sure if the wireless charging tech is still going to work, so you might have to lower it, or I don't know the complete limitations of the technology, but I do know while this may be expensive and complicated to build and install at different places, it would still allow for the high charge rates that we have today, and it would still support every single Tesla vehicle or any electric vehicle that's currently driving on the road. You would not have to put in new hardware, and that's why I think the Snake charger makes a lot more sense than just typical wireless charging. But of course, a lot of you may disagree with me, so feel free to talk to me over on Twitter or join my Discord and we can chat more about it there. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.